Hello students, welcome to Sunya IAS and welcome to your another test discussion for current affairs for the month of July 2023. So from now onwards, as you all be aware that now you will getting the test papers according to each month. So till May and June we are done with two months questions. So from here onwards we'll go for each month. So this month is July 2023. So our first question is on green credit program. We'll try to first understand what do you mean by green credit. I'll come to, we have the PIB over here with respect to the program. But before that, let's understand little terms because sometimes UPSC tend to ask the question on the basis of just one term also. We have seen that in past 2 years, right? So the green credit, what does this green credit means? This is a program. From the green word, we can make it out that it would be something related to environmental friendly activity, okay? And from the credit, you can make it out that some kind of incentive is given or some, credit is given for what? For the activities which are environmental friendly activities. So, आपका green credit क्या हुआ? It is a unit of incentive given specially as a benefit for the environmental friendly activities. Now, what happened when a few months back the union budget was released? At that time, the ministry said, that specifically Ministry of Environment would be taking care of this thing, and the ministry said that we would be releasing this program. At that time the draft was given, but in September the draft has been accepted and it has been implemented under your life, that is your lifestyle for environment, okay? So at that time the draft was given that we should use this competitive market approach, but for what? For the environmental friendly activities. So therefore, if I am saying that they'll be using competitive market approach, that means that they might be allowing the stakeholders, okay, to be participating in such kind of a program. Clear? ये थी एक picture छोटी सी where you can make it out that what this program is related to, so that when I'll be reading this PIB, it should not be something new to you. Okay. So, notification issued for the Green Credit Program, that is GCP, and Eco-Mark scheme under the LIFE initiative to promote sustainable lifestyle and environmental conservation. Eco-Mark पे हम अभी बात नहीं करेंगे. Basically, the two topics have been merged under this PIB, but right now we are covering our July month and we'll try to cover what is GCP. ठीक है? वैसे इको मार्क इतना कुछ है नहीं ऐसा. इको मार्क इज जस्ट टू टेल द अदर पर्सन दैट ओके दिस इज environmental friendly or sustainable product. It is up to the consumer whether they want to use it or not. Fine. So coming back to GCP, the initiative GCP are to encourage environmental friendly practices rooted in our traditions, conservation. They reflecting the idea of life, that is lifestyle for environment, that you're coming up with such lifestyle which is sustainable, which would not impact the environment, it would be environment friendly, that is your life initiative. Okay? So GCP notified on October an innovative market based mechanism designed to incentivize voluntary environmental actions across diverse sectors, various stakeholders, individuals, communities, private sectors and company, as I have just explained you that who all can be part of it, because we are using the competitive market approach. Okay? So it is a innovative market based, which will be for to incentivize the voluntary participation. Okay? So as I told you that green credit is a unit of incentive given for the environmental friendly activities. Okay? So the initial phase GCP focus on two key activities: water conservation and afforestation. Now you tell me, what are the environmental friendly activities? That if you are using a land, then it should be agriculture fertile land, that it should not decrease the fertility of the land if you want to go for agriculture production. If we are going for with respect to land, we can have the option like, you know, for afforestation, planting more trees, right? That we should not go for deforestation. So that is what is afforestation. And if we are talking about water, then of course water management, conservation, you know, utilization of water, conserving the water from the, you know, the water harvesting, all these can be part of it. So in the first phase, the two key activities that we'll consider is water conservation and afforestation. Okay, and the to obtain the green credit, individual, now what is the process? Individual and entities must register their activities through central government's dedicated app and website, that is of MOEFCC only. Okay, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change only. On that website only they can do the registration for the central government. And the administrator will verify the activity of the designed agency, and then for the small project, after the verification, the grant for the green credit certificate will be given. Clear? This is the process. This is what the program talks about, and who all can be involved. In the first phase, the two key would be water conservation and afforestation. That's it. You have to remember this much only. Okay. So now let's look at our statements and try to understand. So the first statement says that the green credit program functions as a complementary mechanism to domestic carbon market. So complementary the mechanism. What does this complementary the mechanism means, everyone? In simple language, it means that you are working towards other type of environmental responsibilities. Okay, like not only you have to decrease the carbon dioxide emission, but in what other ways you can do so? You can by planting trees, by conserving the water, and like afforestation that we talked over here. ठीक है, और आपको मैंने water management में आपको help कर सकता है ना? So these are also the other type of activities, environmental friendly activities that can be helpful. Okay, so your first statement is absolutely correct. Second statement, the green credit under the GCP are tradable, allowing those who earn them to offer them for sale on proposed domestic market platform. So this is correct. So this will be totally market based approach. So if there is trading or there is shareholding, or as it is written over here that, you know, if they want to earn an offer, it can happen. So your both the statements are the correct one and the statement 2, but of course here we are talking about that what is the program all about. Here we are talking about that, you know, okay, domestic carbon market is our responsibility, but with that we need to focus towards other environmental activities also. And the second one is talking about the market based approach, right? So therefore these two, like statement 2 cannot be the correct explanation for statement 1. They are talking about the two separate points for the same program. Okay, so your statement 1 and 2 are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Clear? Okay, so next question is on sustainable development goals. UPSC previously have asked the questions also directly, right? So you should, and by now, whosoever preparing from 1 year, 2 year, 4 years, whosoever seniority, junior, new, you have to remember 17 SDGs. In the mains answer, with respect to, if the question is asked with respect to one of the SDG, then you should be remembering that this is SDG number this. If I am talking about inequality, then inequality, if the question is with respect to inequality, then you should know that SDG 5 and 10 are talking about inequality. Okay? So you should be aware of all these, and means with ज़्यादातर question देखोगे, they are revolving around these topics only. Okay, so from not only from prelims perspective, from means perspective also, these questions are very important for you. But I'll try to make it easy for you, that you know how you can remember or memorize these all the 17 one. So basically here we have this table which is available everywhere on every platform, newspaper, everywhere. So these all are the sustainable development global goals that need to be followed by every country. Okay, so first lane we have first 5, then we have 10, then we have 11, 12, and then we have from 13 to 17. Now how you can remember? Please try to understand. Leave your pen and paper right now. Later on, pause the video and if you want, you can copy it. But try to copy in the same manner only. Okay. So right now, just leave pen and paper. Try to understand over here. So the first is no poverty. Okay. First goal is no poverty. And if there would not be any poverty, that means zero hunger. Correct? If there would be no poverty, that means zero hunger. Okay? Nobody will sleep without food. And zero hunger में ना आपका nutritional food भी बहुत valuable है. ठीक है? This would lead to good health and well-being. है ना? No poverty would lead to, अगर गरीबी इंसान के लिए तब है जब उसका खाना नहीं मिलता. So no poverty will lead to zero hunger. Zero hunger would lead to good health and well-being. And when you have a good health and well-being, and when you're productive, you can go for the quality of education. And when you're going for quality of education, then of course you will understand that what is gender equality, that how much women and men are equal. Okay, but if you noticed, all these headings, from poverty to hunger to education to your good health and to from poverty to hunger to health to education to equality, you will realize that these all are your topics of inclusive growth. So your first whole line talks about inclusive growth. Okay, first to 5. Now on 5th and 10th, we are talking about one thing, that is equality. Okay, gender equality, reduce inequalities. तो वो 5 का मल्टीपल से ऐसे याद रख सकते हो. ठीक है? Okay. Now second line. If you look at the second line, here we are talking about, अब आपको basic inclusive infrastructure, inclusive growth में जो topics होते हैं वो आ गए. This whole second line is talking about infrastructure. Infrastructure के जो important topic होते हैं जैसे clean water and sanitation, clean energy, then decent work and economic growth. अगर आपको water and sanitation, आपको ये सब मिल गया, ठीक है, all the 5 you have got, you have achieved it, then you are achieving your clean water and sanitation also. That means lesser disease also, better lifestyle also, clean energy and affordable. Everybody is getting electricity, clean energy, lesser pollution, would lead to decent work and would lead to overall on the national level economic growth. Then if there is economic growth, then of course innovation, industry, infrastructure would also improve. With respect to the country's economic growth, only all these things improve, and this will reduce the inequality. Here the inequality is about what? Poor and rich. ठीक है? जो वो वाली inequality है, when everybody is getting all these things because everything is affordable, then of course it will reduce the inequality. तो आपका 5 और 10 पे inequality है, and your second whole line is about infrastructure, water, energy, work, employment, and your infrastructure, innovation, industry, and your inequality. Clear? अब 11th और 12th को याद भी कर सकते हो या community के column पे रख सकते हो, but it's better if you remember that on 11th we have sustainable cities and communities. Now, if we are using all of these things, it will lead to what? Sustainable life. So, sustainable cities and communities and responsible consumption and production. When you're so much concerned about your environment, about your country, then of course you will be more responsible also. Okay? So 11, 12 याद कर सकते हो, कर लो, वैसे इतना difficult नहीं है ना? Now, if you look at the last line from 13 to 17, you will see all these are with respect to environmental topics. How? Climate action. ठीक है? Climate action, life below water, life on land. तो आपका climatology wise क्या है? आपका water, land, then peace and justice, strong institutions, and then partnership for the goals. जब peace और justice among institutions रहेगी, तो of course वो एक partnership का ही role play करेगी to achieve the goals, right? And here you have air, water, land. तो ये हो गया आपका environment. That what kind of environment we'll be creating at global level. Clear? So आप इसको इस 3 तरीके से divide करके याद कर सकते हो. This is just to memorize. अगर आप directly, you all are a good rattu totas, then you can directly go for 1 to 17 learning all the names. Fine? Chalo. Now let's go back to our question. So which of the following are included in the list of 17 SDGs? We'll try to, look at the below ones, and now you will look that how easy you will feel that, okay, you are aware of all these. Okay? So promoting economic growth, that is, okay, I will just keep my table open for you so that we can even look over here. So promoting economic growth, that is sustainable. Okay, is it correct? Yes, correct. Next, your second column. Next, achieving universal primary education. So no, we are nowhere talking about primary education. All we are talking about quality education. Okay, so second is wrong. Third, promoting sustainable and inclusive industrialization. So this one is also correct. Second column again. Then assuring productive employment and decent work. This is correct. Improving maternal health. Wrong. We are not anywhere. We are talking about good health and well-being, but we are not talking about anywhere maternal health. Okay. So fourth is wrong. Assuring productive employment and decent work. Correct. Building effective, accountable, inclusive institutions at all the level. So this is correct. Here we have the word. Where we saw the institution word? Here. Peace and justice and strong institution. Okay. SDG 16. Fine. So your 1, 3, 5 and 6 are correct. Second and fourth, actually we have one your one other report is there, Millennium Development Report of UN. So there these, with respect to child, with respect to maternal health, with respect to mortality, all those are mentioned over there. So these two headings belongs to that report. Okay. So your 1, 3, 5 and 6 are the correct one. Okay. So next question is on rice, and if I look at the everything in the heading, it says India's rice export. So even UPSC previously have asked the question with respect to grains and specifically rice trading. ठीक है, ये questions particularly आपका rice trading पे है. But generally rice के लिए आपको क्या climatology चाहिए? Greater than 25 degrees Celsius of temperature. Humidity should be there. A little of humidity should be there. Plus 100 centimeters of rainfall is what makes this kind of rice suitable. Plus kharif crop, as you all must be aware it is, because even the climatology that we are talking about. And what else we need to remember with respect to this, that where in which part of the country you can find them. ठीक है, नॉर्थ में आपका कहाँ आ गया? पंजाब, हरियाणा, यूपी. ठीक है, ईस्ट में कहाँ पे आ गया आपका? योर बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल, ओडिशा, असम. ठीक है, एंड साउथ में आपका आंध्र प्रदेश, तमिलनाडु. ठीक है, ऐसे ही याद करो. जब भी राइस वगैरह, दाल एंड ऑल यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, ट्राई टू रिमेंबर फ्रॉम लाइक दिस. ठीक है, so all these, this is just a static portion which you will find in your geography books also, just for the revision purpose. So what is the news, what it is all about, right? Let's try to understand this. So the explained section में आपका domestic food security topic के अंदर आया था. So this is a means topic also. Understanding the curbs on the rice exports. Why did government impose 20% on par-boiled rice? 20% export duty has been on par-boiled rice till October. What can domestic consumer expect with this move, and what would be the reaction? So one thing I want you all to remember over here, that here the news is talking about the 20% export duty has been imposed on the par-boiled rice, but rest of the white rice plus non-basmati rice, okay, remember that, has been banned by the government. Okay, reason are two. that I told you that in north side where it is grown, Punjab, Haryana and UP, ठीक है, मैंने बताया, but there this year we saw high rainfall. So too much of rainfall is also not good for the rice crop. So therefore there was shortage of rice. Second reason, that there has been increase in retail prices by 11.5% in last year to year period. Okay? And therefore this is the reason that we have decided that for next few months, till the time we get the new notification, there would be ban on the white rice and the non basmati. Basically जो थोड़ा टूटा चावल जिसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं, that, ठीक है. But even the export duty have been increased. Only the allowed is parboiled rice, and parboiled rice is almost approximately 25% of the total rice export. ठीक है, टोटल राइस एक्सपोर्ट का 25% है, which has been imposed 20% of export duty. Clear the situation, clear the news, why the question has been mentioned over here. Okay, you should be aware of that. So let's look at the first statement. अच्छा ये भी बता दो, प्रोड्यूसर के टर्म में इंडिया का क्या रैंक है? सेकंड लार्जेस्ट आफ्टर चाइना. ठीक है, सेकंड लार्जेस्ट आफ्टर चाइना. चलो, so your first statement which says that India has recently revised its rice export policy, prohibiting the export of all types of rice from the country. Is it correct? No, as I have already mentioned कि parboiled rice के लिए जो हमने न्यूज में भी पढ़ लिया. So this is wrong. Non-basmati white rice makes up more than half of the India's total rice export. So this is also wrong. India is world's leading rice exporter as well as producer. So it is the second largest producer. If I want to make you more precise, 90% of production of rice is in Asia only, everyone. And despite 90% of Asia, so अब आपको इससे एक चीज क्या connect कर सकते हो apart from this question, that if rice has been banned globally by India, India is the second largest producer and the rice has been banned by India, then who will fulfill that gap? Vietnam and Thailand. So they also belong to Asia. ठीक है? So your third statement is also wrong. ठीक है? So all your statements are wrong and it is asking correct, so none हो गया आपका. Okay, so next question is on your Ukraine Russia with respect to the Black Sea area, and the question is कि what exactly happened with this Black Sea grain initiative. So you all aware that Ukraine Russia के बीच में आपका Black Sea आ रहा है, ठीक है. अब ये Black Sea grain initiative क्या है? Basically, there has been largest export of grains from Ukraine port. Specifically, there are 3 to 4 ports, but specifically Odessa port. Okay, Odessa port of Ukraine. Okay. Now, what happened after the Ukraine-Russia war, as you all are aware of? So, what happened? The most impacted section, oil. Okay, considering oil, keeping oil side. The most affected is the food security globally. Food security globally. So the direct impact is on the pulses and the grains because the maximum grains has been exported from Ukraine port. And the first port that was attacked by Russia on Ukraine, it was of Odessa port only. तो ओडेसा पोर्ट को तो अभी जाकर वर्ल्ड मैप पे खोलकर मार्क करके, आई हैव इंटेंशनली नॉट मेंशन्ड द मैप ओवर हियर ऑफ द पोर्ट सो दैट यू कैन डू दैट ऑन योर ओन. गो encircle that section, look around that what all sea countries belonging to that place, the nearest countries you all should be aware of, because UPSC is asking questions from mapping also. A lot of questions have been asked. Geography के static से एक question आएगा, पर mapping से आपके 3 से 4 आएंगे. ठीक है? So you all should be ready for such questions. So this Black Sea Grain Initiative, as mentioned by UN, it is a hope of bacon for the world, because if the grains were not exported, then it was directly impacting the food security of the world. And then later on UN involved along with, so Ukraine obviously part होगा इसका, Russia भी part होगी इसकी, because from Russia the only way to go to the global level for the exporting purpose is through Ukraine. ठीक है, and Ukraine and Russia is one of the largest producers of the grains also. So Ukraine, Russia, UN and Turkey, these are the 4 countries which had a joint center meeting, ठीक है, joint center conference की गई, JCC, where all these 4 were part of it. So it happened in Istanbul. And there they sat and decided to go for Black Sea Grain Initiative. Okay? So now everybody was happy. Even the first shipment started in 2022 from the Odessa port. Everybody was happy with this fact that okay, finally the food security would not be impacted to that level. At least something is there in control. But recently Russia decided to withdraw from this joint center conference, and it decided, and that's why the last shipment happened in July from the Odessa port for the grains, and it became a news that what would be the impact and everything like that. ठीक है, and इससे ये था news में. So your first statement, under the Black Sea Grain Initiative, Russia and Ukraine reached an agreement to reopen the grain export from Ukrainian Black Sea ports. This one is correct. Now homework, one is your Odessa port, you will tell me the other 2 ports name, ठीक है, or you will try to mark over there, ठीक है. So one starts with C, the other starts with P, तो आप मुझे बताओगे ये कौन से पोर्ट है, ये आपका होमवर्क है. And Ukraine stand as one of the world's foremost exporter of the food grains and play a significant role in the UN Food and Initiative, as I have mentioned already. Okay, so your both the statement are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Okay, chalo. Next question is on CPI. Next question is on CPI. So last time, I remember very well, I gave you the homework. We talked about the static difference between CPI and WPI, but one homework I gave you to learn the weightage, which has the maximum weightage, which has the minimum weightage. Like for WPI, manufacturing has the maximum weightage. So I told you कि CPI वगैरह की भी weightage करना. So this is to test yourself. This question is mentioned over here to test yourself that whether you have covered your homework or not. Okay? So if you would have listened to me and covered your homework, then you could have corrected this statement. And also, what was the question? So the question is with respect to dearness allowance. Dearness allowance क्या होता है? Dearness allowance की basic सी definition है that it analyzes the basic salary of the Indian citizens, okay? Percentage that is given to the basic salary on basic salary of Indian citizens to mitigate the inflation impact. Okay, like 30 years back, the person had some salary. With respect to the salary, the person pension is decided later on. But once the person retires, then on the pension, it might happen there would be inflation impact. Supposedly at that time it was 5 rupees, then or 500 rupees or 5,000 rupees, that would have no value right now. So whatever is the inflation impact, on the basis of the inflation impact, the dearness allowance is given. ठीक है, और जो ये आपकी dearness allowance है, that is given by government to its employees. So recently government decided to increase this dearness allowance from 42% to 46%. And as CPI plays an important role to calculate the dearness allowance, that's where CPI becomes again one of the important topic to understand. That is how UPSC asks question, application based. Okay, so because CPI reflects what? CPI actually reflects that the inflation impact on the consumer. right? Not the impact, but at what percentage there is, the price has increased for the consumers. The impact of inflation is by who? GDP, deflator. ठीक है? So ये different जो छोटे छोटे minute difference है for the economic static, you should remember. Okay. So your first statement, which says CPI specifically measures the price change at the consumer level, this is correct, and is categorized into three segments. That is your fuel and power, primary items, and manufacturing products. So this is wrong. This is wrong. This is for WPI, fuel and power, primary items, and your manufacturing product. These are the weightage categories for the WPI, जिसमें manufacturing product सबसे highest पे रहता है, ठीक है? यहाँ पे CPI की बात की है. So yes, this statement is correct that price changes at the consumer level. Yes, it decides that, but the categories will be at top will be your goods, ठीक है? Like ऐसे आप लिख सकते हो इसको. टॉप पे फूड एंड बेवरेजेस, देन आपकी मिसलेनियस आती हैं, ठीक है? अब मिसलेनियस में ना बहुत कुछ आता है. मिसलेनियस में आपकी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, एजुकेशन, ये सब कुछ आएगा, ठीक है? तो मिसलेनियस को कंसिडर अभी थोड़ा साइड रखते हैं क्योंकि इसमें काफी सारे मिलकर एक वेटेज बनाता है. सो फूड एंड बेवरेजेस एट द फर्स्ट, देन यू हैव योर हाउसिंग, then you have your fuel, then you have your clothing, then pan and tobacco, ऐसे करके आपकी वेटेज बनती है, ठीक है? हाउसिंग, फ्यूल, क्लोथिंग एंड फुटवेयर लिख लो यहाँ, एंड देन योर pan and tobacco. ये वेटेज का है टॉप टू बॉटम, ठीक है? सो ये याद रखना, भूलना मत इसको. ये वेटेज है इंपॉर्टेंट, यूपीएससी भी पूछ सकता है, ठीक है? So second statement, CPI is published by Office of Economic Advisor under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So this economic advisor is for WPI. इसके लिए NSO. CPI के लिए NSO है. So first wrong, second wrong. Third, CPI is considered a PASH index since it understands the impact of the consumers. No, it's last year's index. Last year's index, the one which I'm talking about, that change in price, talking about the change in prices for the consumer, that is last year, which talks about CPI. जो आपका PASH index है, PASH index आपका बात करता है what would be the impact of inflation on the consumer, and that is explained by GDP deflator. That is explained by GDP deflator, ठीक है? So अभी तक तो आपका first, second, third all are wrong. Fourth, CPI plays an important role in calculating the dearness allowance, and I have explained you what is dearness allowance. So your only one statement, option A, is the correct one. Clear? Okay. Now we will talk about free movement regime. Free movement regime basically है क्या? I don't know whether the country name is mentioned over here. Okay, it is mentioned. India and Myanmar. It is signed between India and Myanmar. So one tribe, Kuki Chin tribe, क्या? Kuki Chin tribe. अब आपको एक इशू पता है जो अभी चल रहा है ऑलरेडी मणिपुर में, ठीक है? So जो आपका इंडियन म्यांमार बॉर्डर है, ठीक है, वो 1643 किलोमीटर्स का बॉर्डर है, ठीक है? Which is shared by which all states? Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. When India and Myanmar both were under British colonies, when that was divided in 1826, India and Myanmar, at that time in Nagaland there was one district which was divided in such a manner that it divided one village. The same village was divided, and one of the person's house can be on the Indian address also, that is there in Nagaland, and on the Myanmar address also. In such a manner the British was divided that land. So that since that time there has been a conflict, okay? And at that time the Kuki and the Chin tribe decided to migrate from Myanmar to India. Okay, decided to migrate from Myanmar to India, and this India free movement regime along with India-Myanmar border, and why it has complicated the volatile situation in the इन दी मणिपुर। ठीक है, हमारा जो क्वेश्चन है कहीं पे भी एक ट्राइब का नाम नहीं मेंशन्ड, दैट इज योर मिट्टी ट्राइब। अब ये पूरी न्यूज ये सब रिवॉल्व हो रही है कुकी और मिट्टी ट्राइब के बीच में जो मणिपुर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चल रहा है उस पे। एंड आई जस्ट कंफर्म फ्रॉम द क्वेश्चन दैट इट इज नॉट मेंशन्ड मिट्टी ओवर देयर। सो बेसिकली जो ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चल रहा है इट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर दिस प्लेस when the Kuki and the Chin tribe migrated to India from Myanmar. Now what happened is Metis people claims that Kuki took their land, took their occupation from that particular from our country on those particular areas, and Kuki claims that we are not getting our claims because of Metis, and even they who they like whom they consider the person behind all this for their lifestyle, their downgraded lifestyle, to the CM, ठीक है, to the CM, that even he belongs to Metis community, so he favors that particular community. ठीक है, so हमने पिछली बार पढ़ा था क्यों ST कैटेगरी के इशू की वजह से ये इशू चल रहा है. The second reason is your free movement regime, that the Indian Myanmar runs 1643 kilometer of border between Manipur, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh border shares. The FMR allows the tribes living along the border on either side travel up to 16 kilometer inside the other country without a visa. ठीक है, 16 kilometer तक allowed है. So that became one of the other major reason for the violation of all this. Okay, so the question says, अच्छा ठीक है, एक और बात आप याद रखना, ठीक है, एक और रीजन है. तो एक हो गया आपका, वन रीजन इज योर ST category. Second reason is your this FRM. Third reason is your narco terror. ठीक है, Kuki people says that they are ruining their youth, who the Metis community, because they are going for the narco terror, cross border narcotics terror, and they are claiming that Metis is responsible for that. So now they have come up with this issue also. ठीक है, ये एक आपका बहुत बड़ा इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी का आंसर भी क्रिएट हो रहा है, एंड इट इज कवरिंग योर प्रीलिम्स क्वेश्चन आंसर्स आल्सो. फाइन, सो योर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट that the free movement regime is mutually agreed upon arrangement between Bangladesh and India. So this is wrong, it is Myanmar and India. Statement 2, FMR permits the tribe residing along the border on the either side to travel up to 16 kilometer into without the need of the visa. So second statement is correct, first is wrong, so your D option is the correct one. Okay, so next question is we have a para over here, okay, and we have to tell that what this tribe belongs to. ठीक है, अब न्यूज सुन लो, that the stone memorials have been erected. Stone memorials have been erected. ठीक है, so from where? From this place only. Okay, but which tribe stone memorial? And these stone memorials are actually of the representing the villager, head, priest, ठीक है, and your physician. Okay, so I have given you the image over here. ठीक है, so this tribal community is considered in the state of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. ठीक है, and they enjoy the status of scheduled tribe in Chhattisgarh but not in Telangana, because this particular tribe has migrated to Telangana from Chhattisgarh, but originally they belong to Chhattisgarh only. They also engage in Podu style shifting cultivation. Only males can hold the position of physician, priest and village leader, which means that they are the patriarchal society. Patriarchal society. ठीक है, they communicate using a language which belongs to Dravidian language family. इसको कोया language कहते हैं. ठीक है, if I am not wrong. ठीक है, कोया language. One of the most significant events for the community is the Samakha Saralamma Jatra festival. ठीक है, ये full moon पे होता है. This festival is celebrated on full moon. So this is your Gutti Koya tribe, and here is the image. अब news क्यों है? Why it was in news? It was in news because recently, the forest officer has been killed by the people in this area, because this particular area of Gutti Koya in Telangana is under the red corridor. Implies it is a Naxalite area. Okay, and that's why it was in news. But you should know, mirror, like image memory ke liye I have given you the image that this tribe looks like what, and information is over here. Now this is, since it's a patriarchal society, the importance they give to the physician, village leader, the priest, and when they're giving them importance, so to signify the importance of them, so recently there has been erection of stone memorials in the village's head priest and of the physician. ठीक है, और आपने वो अलूरी सीतारमन राजू डिस्ट्रिक्ट जो हमने RRR मूवी में देखा था, सो दीज ट्राइब्स आर एक्चुअली बिलोंगिंग टू दैट प्लेस ओनली, डिस्ट्रिक्ट. ठीक है, सो योर इट इज आस्किंग which of the above the tribal community? Yes, so option A is the correct one. Okay, so next question is on no confidence motion. इसके लिए आपको India, I write down I dot N dot D dot A dot I dot A. ठीक है, नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन पढ़ते हैं क्या है, बट उसके लिए आपको पहले इंडिया के बारे में जानना बहुत जरूरी है. तो दिस इंडिया इज एक्चुअली व्हाट, दिस इज बेसिकली टू काउंटर भारत. ठीक है, ऑन लाइक ऑफ स्टेज इफ वी टॉक अबाउट, भारत के ऑपोजिट दे हैव कम आउट विद दिस ग्रुप नेम इंडिया. ठीक है, सो इंडिया इज बेसिकली, पहले लिख लो, इंडियन नेशनल डेवलपमेंट inclusive alliance, Indian National Development Inclusive Alliance, and this is the alliance of 28 political parties. 28 political parties that would be led by INC, and recently they have come together. They have come together for the no confidence motion against Modi's government, PM Modi's government, that is the BJP. Okay, BJP. So they have come against the Modi's government for the no confidence. Of course, they have lost till now, we all be aware. But this Indian, what is this India? It's an alliance of 28 political parties of the country, and all the opposition parties have come together. But now they are divided that whether Mamata Banerjee should be the head of the this alliance, or Mr. Rahul Gandhi should be the head. So that is going on. That doesn't matter from UPSC perspective. All matters is who led this no confidence motion against the present government? India. That is your Indian National Development Inclusive Alliance. ठीक है, and it is an alliance of 28 political parties. That's it. ठीक है, and of course लोकसभा स्पीकर पता होना चाहिए कौन है. ये सब यूपीएससी नहीं पूछ रहा नाम आपसे, बट यू शुड बी अवेयर, क्योंकि यूपीएससी ने क्या करना शुरू कर दिया है, स्टेटमेंट देने लग गए क्वेश्चन में दैट यू नो लोकसभा स्पीकर this with the fellow name that visited over here. So here Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has given the has passed the motion for the no confidence. ठीक है, तो आपको बस पता होना चाहिए. Being UPSC aspirant, you should be aware of all this. So first statement, even though the constitution doesn't mention the no confidence motion, it does talk about confidence motion in the Article 75 clause 3. So Article 75 clause 3 is a very basic, which you can mention in a lot of polity answers. That is your collective responsibility of Council of Ministers to the Parliament. ठीक है, and that is Article 75 clause 3. तो जिनको याद था, they would have incorrected the statement. Confidence, no confidence कहीं mentioned नहीं है Constitution. ठीक है, so first statement is wrong. Second statement, Any member of the parliament with the support of 50 fellow members has authority to introduce a no confidence motion. Any नहीं होगा. No confidence motion can only be passed in Lok Sabha and not the Rajya Sabha. The reason you should know the news. Sometimes you can, that's in this manner you can apply in the statement and correct and incorrect the statement. ठीक है. Third, the motion is passed if it garners the support of the special majority of the house members. This is wrong. ठीक है. Fourth, if the government secures a victory vote on the no confidence motion, the motion is defeated and the government retain its position power. So this one is correct. So it is asking correct. So answer will be D. ठीक है. पहले समझ लो. National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission is going on, and with respect to this only the disease, I'll try to explain you the disease with respect to the paragraph. But for us, even this scheme with respect to the mission with respect to your question is important. So UPSC is focusing towards schemes and missions also, and UPSC is more focusing towards science section also. So this will be a combination of both of them. Okay. So Prime Minister launches National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission from Shahdol, Madhya Pradesh. National Sickle Anemia Elimination aims to eliminate sickle cell anemia by 2047, most common in women and young teenage girls. Okay. So year आपको पता होना चाहिए 2047. PM distributes sickle cell genetic status cards to beneficiaries. It prioritizes the health of the tribal communities in India, which are the most affected ones, and it's screening approximately 7 crore people under the age of 40 years in next 3 years. Okay, and it kickstarts the distribution about 3.57 crore under your Ayush Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. People should match the sickle cell genetic status card before marriage to ensure that the disease is not transferred to the next generation. So this can be transferred. So for pregnant women, it is very important to go through this. Okay, for general awareness. Sabka Saath, Sabka Prayas can stop the spread of sickle cell disease. Now, what is this disease? So your correct answer is option B. What is the disease? It is a group of inherited blood disorder with a genetic basis and follows an autosomal recessive inheritance pattern, a Mendelian disorder. The underlying cause is a mutation of the hemoglobin gene located on the chromosome, which leads to the production of the defective hemoglobin, that is your HB. So this thinners the blood also. Okay? And these faulty hemoglobins molecules tend to aggregate into the rod-like structure after releasing the oxygen, resulting in formation of elongated red blood cells. Typically, it is passed from parents to their offsprings during childbirth, and both parents can be the carriers. Okay? So blood related issue है, red blood cell related issue है, specifically hemoglobin related issue. ठीक है? So ये आपको याद रखना. Okay, so your next question talks about match the following. We have the country name and we have to tell that what is the initiative with India that has been taken place. So the first says Mozambique investment in the energy gas field. So this is correct. ठीक है? Cabo Delgado. ठीक है? Cabo Delgado. Delgado. ठीक है? So this is the gas field with BPCL. जो अपने बड़े-बड़े Indian giant energies हैं, they are partners. They have the stake of approximately at the rate of 30%. Okay, and now they have decided to recommence this area of the gas field. So that's why it was in news with respect to Mozambique and the India initiative. Your second pair is talking about trade settlement and local currency. So this I have talked about that, with Tanzania, the creation of IIT, the exchange of trading in local currency has been, we have talked in, I guess, in our second paper. So this you might have remembered, it is Tanzania. When we talked about India-Tanzania relations, right? And your third is that defense imports from India. So Hindustan Aeronauticals Limited have decided for the defense import from India, from Argentina, and basically the helicopters. Okay, to purchase the helicopter. Clear? So आपका first and third are correct, second is wrong, so it is asking correctly match, so it will be only 2. Okay, so next is a Bata Gai ka Carter. I might pronouncing it wrong, but please look into it.